It's 2023 and you still scared of low light? Well, I'm gonna show you today some solutions in order for you to achieve the best results in low light. What's up everybody, it's your boy Franco Rafo. Welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video, I'm gonna show you some solutions in order to achieve the best results in low light situation. But first, where am I? Yeah, I'm in the bathroom because I ran out of ideas. Alright, so I'm gonna give you the 5 cheat codes to improve or to have a cleaner image in low light situation. So number 1, we're gonna be talking about ISO a little bit. So huge taboo out there in whether you should use a low ISO in order to achieve a clean image in low light. Well, yes, it is true. You may have to need, or you may need a very good setup of light in order to compensate the low ISO. But if you need to use the ISO in order to compensate these other things, like for example the aperture of the lens or the shutter speed or the light situation, you might have to do it. Pump the ISO up. Don't be scared. There's plenty of softwares out there in order to help you to reduce the noise, guys. The number one thing that people do is not pumping the ISO high enough in order to get to that cherry point, like I call it, in order to have the right exposure. So guys, remember, don't be scared of the ISO. Just know the gear that you're gonna be using, know the situation, know what are you going to need in the situation or the scenario you're gonna be given or using. Number 2, guys, let's be honest, 2023 is being pumping with a lot of noise, so embrace the noise. In today's modern day, having a noisy image, it's vintage, retro, or filmic cinematic. Everyone is using film emulators to achieve that old looking but modern style. So embrace the grain, guys. Just don't go crazy with the grain. Don't pump the ISO too high in order to break the image in color noise. Don't do that. Just try to keep it at a balance, which I'm gonna be talking about the base ISO later on. But embrace the grain, just don't go too crazy with it, and you should have a clean image. Now number 3, try to choose the right lens for your scene that you're gonna be using. For example, if I know I'm gonna be recording at a very low light and I don't have a lot of lights to compensate these other things we've been talking about, I should be choosing a lens that is going to have a big aperture, meaning having that f number lower, 1.2, 1.5, 1.8. Don't go higher than 1.8 because it's gonna be hard for you to have more light coming through the lens. So make sure you choose the right lens with the big aperture in order to compensate those other things. The bigger the aperture is, the better it's gonna be for low light because more light is coming in, and also you're gonna have that blurry background. But the bad part of this is that when you're gonna be pulling focus, especially on manual cinema lenses, it's gonna be harder because bigger aperture means that the focus distance is gonna be more jumpy, so you're gonna have to try to play a little bit with it. Number 4, get close to the source of light. Like say for example, right now I only have one light, that's my key light. I put it as close as possible in order for me to be in the right exposure for the scene. If you only have one light, make sure you use that light to compensate everything else and to illuminate the right subject in your image. The only thing that I should be worrying about is me, illuminating me, because you're concentrating in me, in the subject, right? Getting your subject closer to the light will be better for color grading and exposing their subject in the right way. And number 5, and one of the most important steps, is knowing the capability of your camera. For example, this Sony a7R III is not the same as the FX3. They have different ISO based on the camera. The FX3 based ISO, it's way crazier and higher than my current camera. So make sure you look up the information of your camera, know the base ISO so you can know how much you can stretch the ISO when using your camera. Knowing your camera, knowing how to use it will give you a big advantage and will bring you the right exposure to your image. So make sure you know what camera you're choosing for the specific low light scenario in order for you to achieve that clean image. So guys, we're keeping it short today, only 5 cheat codes, very short, very easy. So make sure you know what cameras you're gonna be using for the low light situation so you can achieve the right image for you, right? Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you stay tuned every Sunday here in my YouTube channel. Thank you all so much for the support. Make sure you stay tuned. I'm gonna continue. I have a lot of plans here in my phone that I'm gonna be recording for y'all guys. And also make sure you stay tuned because there's a short film that I'm gonna be dropping, and I'm gonna be pretty much showing you what I can do with just minimal budgety camera. We don't need nothing crazy in order to achieve a good looking image. All you need is the principle that I shown in the last video, so make sure you watch that. And that's pretty much for today, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll catch you out in the next one.